went home and I told everybody in my life that I was going to start a website, and they looked at me like I was insane.
It was just a fluke. Somebody heard me talking crap about somebody else, right? And and they were like, "You're funny. Have you ever tried stand-up?" How did you get started in your industry?
Well, I actually started my career like you, girl. I was an actress.
Really?
I went to school for theater, and I pursued that industry for about 5 years. And I loved to write. That was always my passion, actually, at heart. Mm-hmm. And I was working a day job at one of my side hustle gigs as an actor, as you have to do. And I met a girl there. We became fast friends, and we started going out to restaurants and trying like the hot spots and like exploring the city of Chicago as like two young women in their 20s. And we were using the internet, of course, to figure out where to go and what to do and where we should shop and where we should try. And there was nothing on the internet at that time that spoke to us as young women online, believe it or not. This was in 2008. So there was no Instagram, there was no fashion or food blogs, there was like nothing like that existed. Yeah. And so we kind of looked at each other one day and we're like, why don't we like create a food blog and like document our passions as women in the city?
Nice.
And it became this idea that formed into a business. I remember like being so lit up about this, more so than I had ever felt about acting. Mm-hmm. And I went home and I told everybody in my life that I was gonna start a website, and they looked at me like I was insane because I had no background or no business, you know, being in technology and repping a website.
You know, that's so frustrating that we're compartmentalized into just like one space. Like, you started with this is what you got to do to the end of time. Yeah. Don't change it.
Yeah. And we think that because we like make a decision and we invest maybe a few years in this particular career path, that if we leave it, we're a failure.
Yep.
And that is just not at all the case.
Yes.
And that business I ran for 7 years, and to be frank, it was a critical success on a lot of levels, but it ended up being a financial failure. Mm. And I could talk about that, but today I'm doing something much different. But I've taken I took all that I really did learn in those 7 years, running a digital magazine and learning social media at the dawn of social, and formed my own company, my second company, that is now helping other people come alive with their platforms on the internet, using all the things that I learned, and of course so much more. But I think the journey that I have had as an entrepreneur is accepting that we do not win or lose. We win or we learn. So how did you get your start in your career?
Oh, man. So
that's a good question.
What is my career? No,
yeah.
I'm a stand-up comedian, so we talked about that. And I got started in acting via stand-up. And we're considered writers anyway.
Yeah.
Like, stand-up are considered writers.
Totally. But
I've always loved to write. I've always journaled. I've always been a writer, like, growing up. I always had all these journals. And just growing up, I was like a really wild child, just didn't really have any direction or any focus. I got kicked out of 2 high schools for fighting. I was a bully.
No way.
Oh my God, I was the worst. Yes, I'm telling you, it was rough.
You've come a long way.
I've so far.
I just met you, but you're like
a
so pure light.
I'm telling you.
I can't imagine you like bullying people.
You have no idea. You have no idea. I've been through such a very heavy emotional journey, where I've had to really sit back and reflect on like, what are you doing, Kellye? You know? And so I started out as a stand-up.
Okay.
And it was just a fluke. Somebody heard me talking crap about somebody else, right? And and they were like, "You're funny. Have you ever tried stand-up?" And I was like, "No, but I'm an actress. I'm at Columbia right now." And they were like, "You should try stand-up." And so I tried stand-up. Loved it.
Yeah.
Immediately moved to LA. They paid me $30. I took my $30 and was like, I'm finna be famous. Moved to LA, got to LA, didn't do a drop of stand-up again.
Wow.
And then Pauly Shore had this thing called The Hot Girls of Comedy on Minding the Store. It was like a reality show thing he had. And I did that. It was a long cattle call. You had to stand in line. You had 1 minute to make him laugh.
I remember those days.
Yes, I made him laugh. He was dying laughing. I got casted for the show. I had like all of 3 minutes of stand-up to my name because I had only been on stage twice. So I got casted for the show, and then once they edited the show and I saw it, they had cut me completely out. And all you saw at the end was me like waving, right?
Wow.
That's when I realized that I didn't understand stand-up. I was like, oh, I don't know what this is. And I had a daughter at the time, so I said, you know what, if I'm really gonna be a stand-up comedian, if I'm gonna hit the scene at night, I need to move back to Chicago. Came back home in 2006 and have been doing stand-up comedy ever since. It's been 14 years.
Wow, girl.
I've done Last Comic Standing, Comedy Central, the OWN Network. I've done so much stand-up on TV, Fox Labs, and then acting just kind of morphed out of that because it's part of the industry. You know, it's all performing. It's all it's all intertwined. And which is my first love anyway. That's what I was in school for. And so I love acting. I do enjoy stand-up. I enjoy talking and expressing myself, whether that's stand-up, whether that's live talks, whether that's right here with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be stand-up, but acting, I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like you enjoy Cheeky, right? It's like, oh, I love this.
All right, Kellye, I got a question for you. Do you think you've made it yet?
Hell yeah.
Tell me why. Tell me why. I love that
I've
answer.
made it in life. I feel like every day that I wake up is another beautiful day to explore something interesting about myself, about the world, about my husband, about my environment. Like, I'm so curious now in life where I don't really look for the day to go a specific way. And as far as making it in acting and stand-up.
In anything, in your career and in life.
Yeah, in my career, it used to be this thing of like making it, right? If I get a big movie, if I'm on TV, if I'm seen all the time, then I've made it. But then I realized that is not as emotionally comforting to me as I thought it was.
100%.
So the more success I have, the more I have to focus on my balance and well-being in order to be able to enjoy the success the way that I want to enjoy it, because I don't want this success to carry me where I'm like, I'm doing all this work and now I can't even have 2 seconds to think about my life.
I feel you.
I want to have a balanced life. I want to spend my evenings with my husband.
Absolutely.
I want to, you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of life I want to travel and do those things. So when I say, have I made it? Nah, I think, in life, I've just made it in general. I've made myself comfortable with accepting whatever shows up. And that is making it to me.
I love that answer. What I love about your story too, Kellye, is that you mentioned that you were a bully in high school.
Oh gosh.
That you got kicked out of 2 high schools. Like, the road wasn't easy, and you like have had a journey to become this light and to become this empowered person, and that it wasn't just this straight line, and that you had moments, probably lots of them, and sometimes, I fall back into trauma and victim mentality today in my own in micro moments, right?
Yesterday.
Because life happens. Life happens.
Absolutely.
But you are a living example of that. You don't have to hang your hat on your past and your story, and that those moments of trauma in high school and you getting kicked out and having that label, you actually didn't carry that with you.
Yeah.
You probably could have. You were 16. You were formed an adult, but you continue to do the work on you.
Absolutely.
I say this all the time. Your business, your career, specifically speaking professionally, will only grow at the rate of which you grow as a person.
Yes.
That is the truest thing I could say.
Yes.
And it's like that shift that I had just a few years ago when I really saw myself in a different way is when my business tripled. Like, not overnight.
No.
But in time.
And then your perspective is different. So you're not looking at the slow moments or the failed moments or quote unquote failed moments, the moments where you have to sit back and learn, right? You're not looking at those as like, oh, this is stopping me from doing what I want to do, or now that I've done this, there's no way I can do that. That's not the mindset.
Right.
Me, I'm a very mental, like, I really do take a lot of time to write and be introspective and to figure out how am I showing up in the world? How am I showing up as my best self? And
Yes.
if I'm not doing that, then I don't need to be in somebody else's energy, in somebody else's space, ruining what they have going on. You know, I need to be focusing on what I need to be doing. And that's what Be Less Petty is all about.
Yeah.
My podcast and my YouTube channel, Be Less Petty TV, it's all about being less petty with your time, space, and energy. It's not don't be petty.
Right.
It's be less petty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just be a little less of it. Like, try to focus on the things that, you know, can energize you and fuel you. And that's by taking some of the micro habits that are like really messing you up and looking at those and trying to change them. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
You don't want to change all of you, but the things that bring you constant anxiety, like for me, it was envy. I knew that. I knew that envy was...
Girl, the fact that you can say that.
Oh God, yes.
Let's just talk about that.
I was so envious. I was so envious of my friends, and I'm in a like, I came up in the industry of like the Little Rails and the Tiffany Haddishes. Like, these are my friends. You see what I'm saying? And I'm seeing them have massive success, and I sat in a lot of that envy constantly, and it would come back while I'm driving. It would come back before I go to sleep.
Wow.
It would come back when I wake up in the morning, and I was finally like, oh, Kellye, you can't ignore this. You can't keep acting like this is normal.
Yeah.
Why do you feel this way? Oh, okay, let me talk to my therapist.
Yeah.
Let me do a little bit more deeper work. Like, I am one of those people where I am curious, and
Me
I will
too.
try anything that's going to dig deeper into me
I call
to
it
give
my
me
army.
a true...
Like having an army of healers. You don't need you can't
It's
just
not
get
just
by with
one.
one. You
You
have to
need-
have a support
Yes.
staff. Life is hard. You have to have a staff. If you run a business like I do, you have a staff to help you
Yes.
run your business. You need a staff to help you run your life.
It
You
takes
have
a
to have an
village to
emotional-
raise a child.
100%.
It takes a village to raise an adult. Like, we need people around us that's going to tell us, I got you, girl.
Yeah.
And you can trust
And
me.
then you can trust. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but that only happens when you have people around you that trust themselves and that love themselves, because then they won't be pushing that kind of energy onto you, trying to figure themselves out.
100%.
You know, it's we can talk about this
So
forever, girl.
you mentioned. So you mentioned that you were watching all these women around you
Gosh, yeah.
own their success and be successful, and that the envy was something that you really examined. You're making money now too.
I do. I make a little something.
Yeah, me too.
I make a little
How do
money.
you make money?
Commercials.
Yeah,
and
commercials are
acting.
good
Commercials
money.
are amazing. I just did a National Humira commercial.
Congratulations! Yeah, it's like
I am eating. Yes.
It's like printing money. It's
Oh
like
my
you go
God.
like I used to do voiceovers. So voiceovers were my jam, and you'd go in for like an hour and you'd collect checks for a year.
For a year. It's so amazing. My agent's like, I have a check in here, and based on what I owe her, I know how much the check is, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a nice one.
Congratulations! That's a big
Thank
deal.
you. Yeah, so stand up, acting, and my husband has a really good job as well, so don't let me act like I'm out here, you know, beating but yeah, so how do you make money? Obviously your brand, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have a really cheesy answer for this, but it's true. I make money by helping other people come alive. Like, I help people, my clients are people who come to me to help them build their brands, but the work that we do is so much deeper than building a platform. I call us a personal empowerment company disguised as a personal branding company, because when you can really put words to what makes you amazing, I think as human beings we're really good at talking about what we suck at instead of owning our greatness super boldly with you know, the fear of being seen as cocky. Well, you should be confident. You weren't put on this planet unless you were really important and had something really unique to give to the world. That's what I believe. And so what we do is help people really frame that in a way that they can scale to serve the greater good as much as their own bottom line. So we're an agency, we get put on retainer, we get paid like, you know, we do these day-long sessions called the SimplyBe Accelerator, which is a 9-to-5 experiential way we build a client's brand, where we get you in for the whole day and you work with me and my whole team on all the facets of your messaging, to your strategy, to your
Nice.
social, to your PR plan. And so that has really been the nut of my business, like the bread and butter. And I also get paid to speak.
I feel
And
more alive since I've been here with you.
Oh my
just so
gosh,
you know
me
that.
too.
Just so you know that.
I love your story. I thank you for your
Yes.
authenticity and your honesty and opening up just so naturally, and the way that you did. And I work with a lot of corporate, like, executives and entrepreneurs who are like trying to, you know, for good reason, build their platforms and tell their stories to serve their companies. And I always get back to, like, what's your authentic truth? What's the crap that you're actually really afraid to talk about?
Yep.
because that's your gold.
Yep.
That's the things that someone else is going to remember and attach to in a good way, tell their friends about.
Because they can relate from a human perspective.
Exactly.
Like a deep, you're not trying to sell them something. You're just coming out like, this is who I am. I had a young lady come to me to mentor her. Just recently, actually, we had a call yesterday. And she was like, I just love everything that you do. And I was wondering, like, how can I put on more makeup? And how can I do this? And I told her, I said, I'll help you, but I'll only help you become more of who you are. Yes. And who you want to be as a performer. I was like, I'm not going to pretend that if you put on more makeup on stage, then that will get you the response that you're looking for, because that's just painting your face. I said, you have to show up. And then she was like, I just get so much anxiety around it. I said, have you talked about your anxiety on stage?
Right.
And she was like, not really. And I was like, that's butter. Like, you have to, you know what I mean? I could relate to that. I know a lot of people in my life that deal with anxiety. So that would be really good information that people could laugh at, because they can relate to it. You know, you'll be surprised how many people in the world do not take one conscious breath a day.
I see them all the time.
They're not even aware that they have control over their breath.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. I remember being that person.
Me too.
And that's not to say I haven't failed, because I do fail. Like, I have my failing moments. I remember one time I went into an audition, right? For one, I was late. I was frazzled. Time is not my best friend. I get to this audition and I know the lines, and I'm confident. I'm like, I need this audition. I gotta make it. I gotta get on the show. And this was like earlier before I had really started booking. So I was thirsty as hell, right? Trying to impress the casting directors, trying to like, you gotta see me. I got something to offer, right? So I go into this audition and I'm frazzled, and I cursed. I said the line wrong, and I was like, oh shit. And you know, you never do that in a director session, like with a director in the room. You never curse, you keep your professionalism. Even if you say the line wrong, you, for one, just try to make it through the rest of the line. Or you just say, I'm sorry, can I start again?
Yes.
But you don't like freak out that you messed up. And I was like, shit. And so I saw the casting director's face. I saw her look at me like, really? And I just felt the whole energy go. I was like, I'm not getting that role. And then when I left out, I felt so bad that I allowed myself to be frazzled and to be energetically off my square and to be in this room and not be present. I wasn't present in that room because I would have known not to say shit in front of the, and you know, and just to be off like that. And so what I did when I left was I wrote a note to the casting director, just apologizing for my unprofessionalism and letting her know that it was just a day, not to blame it on anything, but I was just having a bad day. And though she didn't call me in again for a couple years, you know, when I did go back in, I started booking like crazy through her.
Interesting.
Just because I had a different energy. I had a different, when I walked in that room, I knew that I was there to create a compelling character. I'm not there for you to book me for this job. I'm here to show you what I've created in this character. Like it or don't, I don't care if you choose me, but I know that I created something dope. You know what I mean? And like, that's how I look at it now. But I wasn't looking at it like that then. I was like rushing in with all of this unaligned energy of like, see me, like me, pick me, please. And now I'm like, I am centered. I am good enough. I am worthy. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do my job, and you like it or you don't. And that has nothing to do with me. That is completely independent
100%.
Of my worth.
Everything. I love this story. First of all, everything is energy. That's everything. Everything is energy.
Yes.
Secondly, you're booking like crazy, but you had to fail.
Decent.
But you're a working actress, right? And that casting director didn't call you in for 2 years. You had to fail.
I had to.
You had to experience that failure in order to do the work on you, get in alignment, trust yourself, recalibrate the energy of you so that you could walk in with that sense of confidence and empowerment. And I believe that failures are blessings. I have failed so hard in my life. My first business ran out of money. I had to call my employees. One of them was a brand new mom.
Oh no.
And I had to call her and tell her I couldn't pay her. That was trauma. And we in many ways kind of deserved to fail. Like, we didn't manage our money well. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a 26-year-old upstart entrepreneur, had no business background. I was an actress. And we made it 7 years, and I'm proud of myself for that entire chapter, including the mistakes we made, because I learned from them. But today I run a very airtight, profitable company that is, cash flow positive.
Because you understand it.
Because I understand it. And thank God I failed and didn't understand it
it
years ago, because I learned.
Yeah.
I learned so much, and I put other people around me that knew better than me, right? I had humility after that experience.
Humility
is key.
It's key.
And honestly, when people ask me, like, what's my biggest failure? Like, it's the ultimate entrepreneurial fear of failure, is going broke, running out of business, your business like imploding. And guess what? I did that.
You did do that.
I got that battle scar now, and I
Yeah.
can now say, like, whatever comes, and I know I won't die.
And you gotta learn, like you said, you gotta learn it. Like, if you don't go through it, you're not gonna learn it.
It's so basic. You just set an intention. You believe that you can achieve that intention. You own that intention. You don't make apologies for wanting the intention.
Yep.
And you work hard and you align to it. And then day in, day out, it actually unfolds.
And when you say work hard, I want to just add to
Yeah.
that people have to establish what their version of working hard
Right.
is. We
Doesn't
all
happen
have to,
overnight.
Yeah, we all have to figure that out. Because I used to think that working hard was me being at every show every night, and me being on the scene doing stand-up, and me showing up, and trying to get every audition, trying to be in every movie, trying to be in every sketch, trying to be on everybody's Instagram, trying to be on everybody's podcast. Working hard, they see me, but then I realized that I was depleting my energy, and I was exhausted, and I wasn't happy, and I was drained, and I was depressed, and I would wake up not wanting to go into the day. And I was like, oh, this isn't my rhythm. What's my rhythm?
Can I just say to the people watching, this is making it. This is making it. This is when you figured it out, that you don't have to hustle and kill yourself and do all the things and be what other people want you to be, or catch up with the Joneses, or feel that envy and need to be what this girl is doing. Like, once you erase all of that is making it.
This was great.
This was amazing.
Yes, it was.
You think that we've known each other our whole lives, but we
would.
actually just met about an hour ago.
We did.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And this flew. This is what happens when you are on the same frequency, and
we are vibing at the same level
align,
right now,
absolutely.
for sure. I'm loving it. I am so happy to have met you, and I'm so happy
you.
to be on Ladies of Influence. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
It was so much fun.
Us, for sure.
Us, girl.
Us.
Can we hug?
Give
Hug
me
it
a hug.
out.
Give me a
Hug
hug.
it out.
Hug it out.
I want to push women forward, particularly women of color. I think it's time that we're sitting on the other side of the table, and the other side of the table being owners of the business, and we all need money. Some of us say, oh, I don't really need, everybody needs money. You need money so you don't have to worry about money.
You are definitely a lady of influence for me.